go. All right. Ready for Miami.
Bill, in the return games, Jakeem Grant remind you of anyone you guys have seen in recent years?
Yeah, he's really good. I mean, glad we don't have to deal with him. Yeah, explosive, fast. He's having a great year. And made a bunch of plays for him on offense, too.
How do they use him offensively?
Well, they used him as kind of a situational player. Spotted him in there. Hit him a slot a little bit, reverses, stuff like that.
Bill, at the bye, we talked a little bit about examining your tendencies and trying to figure out what you needed to change and keep the same. Do you feel like you guys have done a good job of maybe breaking some tendencies to make yourselves less predictable?
I mean, we look at that every week, so it's an ongoing thing. Like what it was a few weeks ago and what it is now is not the same. So try to stay up on it every week. Well, we obviously try to do the best we can every week. We'll see.
They said that Danny Bill hasn't been very compliant in practice. Did you experience that during this time here that you were fighting to play maybe through injuries?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Danny's a hard worker and he's a tough competitor. No issues with Danny. I mean, and he always wanted to be there. I can totally understand what Adam's saying there. Yeah. You like those guys on your team.
Bill, obviously you have a lot going on right now, but given your history, do you find time at all for Army-Navy tomorrow?
I don't know how much we have to see of it. We'll be on the road, but yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You got to check in with, or
Absolutely, yeah. Joe and I talk about it every day.
Is that something? Is that something that kind of makes you nostalgic for when that game's going on? Is just looking
No
back?
question. Yeah, no question. Yeah, that was a huge. When your dad coaches at Navy, that's a huge part of your life. That game's a huge part of everybody's life at those two academies, and it extends well beyond that. But yeah, in May how many days are left until you play Army.
Is there a game, any of those games that when you look back that kind of stand out to you, and any one that was kind of a special memory, or one that?
Yeah, well, pretty much all of them, especially all the ones that Navy won. The 62 game with Staubach's sophomore year. When it had a skull and crossbones on the helmet. President Kennedy was at that game. So he sat, kind of right in front of us. Actually, when he was walking across the field, the guy ran through the thing and almost tackled him. I mean, it was crazy. The next year was of course, the game was postponed a week after President Kennedy was assassinated, and that was the game where Navy stopped Army on the 4-yard line, went to the Cotton Bowl. So those are pretty memorable games. 67 game, Cartwright. Yeah, I mean, remember a lot of them. Joe Bellino's 3-touchdown game in '59. That's really the first game I remember. First game I ever remember watching was the '59 Army-Navy game.
Any football game?
Any football game. And then it was the Colts and the Giants. But yeah, '59, that was Bellino's 3-touchdown, 43-12 game. That was the Coach Harden's first year as the head coach.
Where were you watching from?
I was at home. Then I started going to the games after that. But that one, it's with the babysitter. Watch it at home. Yeah, so those are great memories. Great. It's a tremendous week there with just the spirit of the week and the pep rally Thursday night and the send off for the team on Friday, and then coming back and the victory bell on Sunday after they won. So it was and honestly that kind of set the tone for the whole rest of the year.
Sure.
So when when you live in that world, that's the world you're living in. You know, it's, I don't want to say it's a one-game season, but in some respects it really is.
It was announced yesterday that Devin McCourty was named the representative from this organization as the Walter Payton Man of the Year. What has he meant to not only what he's done on the field, but what he's done off the field and just in the locker room, his presence?
Yeah, I mean, it's so deserving of that recognition from our team. You know, Devin's just a tremendous person. You know, team captain pretty much ever since he got here, second year. He's been a great player for us, great leader for us, very unselfish with his time, great example for younger players. Just does everything right, trains well, studies, special teams, defense, play deep, play up on the line, whatever you need him to do. He play corner, play safety, return kickoffs, cover kickoffs. It's whatever you need him to do. He's been a great player to have on this team. It's been a great addition to our team from really the day he got here.
When he was named a captain in his second year, did he have a sense of maturity that you don't often see with younger guys, captain second year?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's why the team recognized it. Mayo was in that category. I think Logan might have been his third year, but it's just pretty special to come on to, which those were veteran teams too at that time. It wasn't, you know, like a startup operation, and you know, to be recognized by the team that quickly of their presence, leadership, and team commitment, I would say, unselfishness and team commitment. You know, it probably takes you at least a year to do that. In some cases, a lot longer. If those guys did it, Devin did it in a year, and rightfully so. I mean, I'm sure the coaches would all voted for him too. You know, we all saw it, and the team recognized it, and you know, certainly Slater, took a little bit longer, but same type of thing. You know, those. I mean, look, you're lucky to have one guy like that, and we've had a lot of them around here. So, but yeah, it's great recognition for him.
Devin does a pretty good job, at least from what we've seen, of keeping things light in the locker room. Is that important out of a captain or kind of a tone setter on the team?
Yeah, I think that's part of leadership, part of that job. Yeah, absolutely. Whether it's in the locker room, in the weight room, or you know, there's moments to be light and there's moments not to be light, and those guys always seem to do a good job of picking the right ones, and you know, timing and their relationship with all the players, not just the guys in their group, but the other guys on their side of the ball, the other guys on the other side of the ball, not just their say the players in their age group, but also younger players, or you know, players more in the middle of their career. They've lived through those different times and can relate to those guys and do a good job of it. So, look, a lot of those conversations take place in the training room. They take place on the team plane. They take place on in the weight room. Might take place on the practice field in between periods or something like that. You know, there's no real formula or price tag you can put on all those, but cumulatively they all add up and they all count, and they'll mean a lot, and that's how teams are built. But certainly players like that, like Devin, are important to either hold things together or bring things together, however you want to look at it.
J.C. Jackson's skill set that makes him so good at covering the deep off, and how have you seen him sort of over the season kind of start to leave his fingerprints?
Yeah, JC's really improved a lot over the course of the year, and he's gotten a lot better, and he takes coaching well. He understands what maybe he needs to see, or the technique he needs to use, or how he can improve what he's doing, and then he works on it and he gets better at it, and he's done that, you know, all year, and he continues to do it. He's got good ball skills. He can catch the ball, and he has good hand-eye coordination to get his hands on the ball to break up plays, and I'd just say he just continues to improve in our system, and his individual techniques and his communication with his teammates, understanding situational football and the teams that we play against and how different each team is, how different each receiver is, and each quarterback and each offensive coordinator, and how it really can change from week to week, and how you have to, you know, move to the current program, the current team, the current opponent, and play them probably differently than the way you've played other teams. that's part of the learning process that I think all young players, coaches for that matter, we all go through.
Devin told us yesterday that he thinks you're doing more this year schematically than you've ever done since he arrived in 2010. Is that something you agree with?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, each week we try to do what we think is best to help us prepare and compete against our opponent. So whatever that is, but we try to do that every week. Not more, not less, just the best we can do, whatever that happens to be.
Your son Steve said a few weeks ago that the first time he realized he wanted to be a coach was watching you in the Super Bowl against the Packers. So I wondered if you had a moment similarly when you realized you wanted to be a coach. And I guess the reason I ask is because you looking back at the Army Navy games, watching your dad.
Yeah, probably like a lot of kids, I followed my dad around, went to practice, and I was the only child, so did it at a young age, and always sort of looked up to the coaches and players at the Naval Academy. And certainly there's a lot to look up to there. There was a lot of great people that wore those uniforms, both on the coaching staff and players that have gone on to serve our country and dedicate their lives to our freedom and have the great leadership that we need in this country. And many great coaches that have sat in those seats too, from head coaches to assistant coaches, and guys like Lee Corso and Coach Rosano, Coach Harden, Ernie George, Big Dude, and Jack Cloud. It's a long list of people that really had a big impression and impact on me. So, yeah, they didn't know they were teaching it to me, but I was somehow learning it, I guess.
Well, and it was sort of the idea of you coaching came over time, or was there a moment that you realized that?
Yeah, I don't know. When I was in college, I was going to go with Coach Holtz to North Carolina State to be a graduate assistant down there, and then he hired me, then he fired me, and then I ended up at Baltimore with Coach Marchibroda. So things worked out, but I guess that was kind of the point in college where I saw that as further my didn't really have the money to go to graduate school, but the combination of the graduate assistantship and all that looked like a good route to take, and so that's kind of the track I was on, and then ended up at Baltimore for no money, but for a great experience, which was worth way more than whatever they could have been paying me, which wasn't worth anything, so it's all I wasn't making anything. So sometimes it just ball bounces your way, I guess.
He's been able to work with your father Kamalo for about a month now. He's got, I guess, kind of a unique size. I think he's 6'6", 300 pounds. Where does he fit in as far as how he fits in your scheme? I know that he was kind of an outside linebacker, edge guy. Is he that? Is he defensive tackle?
I think we're trying to figure it out, but he's an interesting player to work with, and good player to work with. Works hard, smart. As you said, has played outside linebacker to defensive end to defensive tackle. So he's, he hasn't really done a lot in our defense. More it's been scout team and so forth, drills. But he works hard. He's smart. He picks things up. He's able to do, has done, and is able to do different things for us. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, he's an interesting guy. We don't really have anybody like him from a skill set standpoint. So we're kind of trying to figure it out a little bit. But he gets better every day. So keep working with him, see how it goes.
Final question? Josh Jordan's caught all 8 of his targets past 2 games. Have you seen him come a long way just in terms of precision, timing with Tom Brady?
I think it's gotten better each week, going all the way back to the first week. Was it the Detroit week he came here? Didn't play it, so whatever it was. So, each week just a little bit more. Each team's different. They play their coverages with a technique or our game plan varies a little bit from week to week, so there are always new things to work on, new things to develop. But he's done a good job of all that, and the things that have been somewhat repetitive have come back over time. He's obviously multiple reps, and the timing on those, of course, has gotten better from both him and Tom, the rest of the offense. So, but there's new stuff every week. Certainly, Miami's a lot different than Minnesota or the Jets or Tennessee, and I mean, just each week it's a new challenge. All right, see you in Miami.